Hey everybody, Serial Overdrive here, and today I'm playing Entropia Universe. What I'm going to show you how to do today is mine on 20 PEDs a week, or less really. It depends how much you play, how much you want to mine, and everything like that, but let's just go through the basics. This is like a beginner's guide to mining, pretty much, okay? So, a lot has changed since the last beginner's video I made, maybe 5 years ago. First off, go to the TT, you're going to buy this stuff. You buy your basic excavator, sorry about that. You buy your detector, okay? And then whatever you want to spend, you can spend in probes. I'm only going to buy 100 because that's 5 PEDs. That's going to last us more than enough time to get this video done. And I don't want this to be a video that just goes on and on and on. You guys want to see this. You want to get out there. You want to do this, okay? So if you look at... Alright, no, actually, first off, we're going to get some missions. Now, I'm at Port Atlantis, right? So you get your daily mission terminal here. You've got some hunting missions here, okay? So if you're new, you're going to want to take note of that. And if you're specifically here for the mining, you can go up to this representative and get all your mining challenges. You'll see I haven't really bothered to complete many, but I did do this one. You'll get skills for it. Like, it is... The reason I'm not doing mining challenges is because I'm an idiot. Don't be like me. So if you're beginning, I'd recommend getting the List challenge, the Iron challenge, the Belcar challenge, the Blossarium challenge, and maybe the Calderite challenge. Yeah, those are probably the big ones I'd recommend. I'm sure there's like some other good ones out there, and you guys who are watching, leave some comments on that. I know, like, every time I make one of these videos, I get grilled on everything I do wrong because I'm an older player. Like, there's stuff I don't know. For instance, one thing I just learned, and this is gonna be interesting to the new players, right? So if you buy this from the TT, you're spending 2 probes per use, okay? 2 probes, right? That would be, I don't even know what that equates to, but that's very little, okay? If you buy like an more advanced finder, this is what I'm using, you're using 20 probes. So when you're using this new this new player equipment, you're spending a lot less than me, 10 times less than what I usually spend and what most miners spend when they're mining. So that's really good for you guys that are starting off. That means that 20 PEDs is going to go far. A lot of you guys have watched videos where I'm going through 50, 100, maybe even 200 PEDs in a run, in an hour. That's not going to happen to you because you're using new gear. You're good to go. And that's a great way to get into the game, make your mistakes, figure out what areas you want to go to, and, you know, sort of get your bearings. Now, there's a few ways we can play this, right? One thing you can do is you can equip it like this, okay? What I'd recommend, mine everything. So you're going to start like this. You're not mining anything here. Like, if you try to mine, it won't work. You can just mine end matter, and that's going to cost you 1 probe. That's very cheap. You're going to find smaller claims. Personally, I wouldn't recommend it, but it's up to you again, okay? Or you can mine ores. You can mine just ores. And these are going to be a little bit higher claims. You're spending 2 probes per search. If you're doing this with like a normal finder, just multiply everything I'm saying by 10 or something like that. You're spending 2 probes per search. What I'd recommend, doing both of these. And right here, it's going to show you how much you're spending. And down here, it's going to show you how many attempts you've got. So at this rate, I've got 33 attempts. I don't even know if we're going to make it through all of them. Let's see. So you can back click and hit use tool. You drop your probe, you keep running. I'm doing this right off of Port Atlantis. I personally like to go along the water. Part of that is because when I'm mining, I don't wear armor. Everybody knows that. I'm not wearing armor when I mine. Which means if something tries to kill me, I'm probably going to get killed unless I can drown it. And that's what this water's for. That's why I like mining along the water. It's completely up to you where you mine. There's no good place. There's no bad place. Just go and do it, okay? Now, you've been seeing this like I've been hitting here. I've been back clicking, use equipment, all that. That's a bit tedious, right? So let's do it like this. IGL, hit I, G, and L. Take what you're using, okay? So we're going to take this, that's our finder, drag it to the 2 hotkey. Take this and drag it to our 3 hotkey. So now we've got our extractor and our finder both hotkeyed to the button 2 and the button 3. Not too bad, right? Makes life a little bit easier, and it's a cool little tip for those of you who are just starting off. And I'm going to leave the tip at that. I'm not going to get too advanced into hotkeys and all the different options you've got. I do have videos out there showing that. Oh, all right, so we got a claim. It's unknown. We don't know how big it is. Here's the deed, right? You can click on that. It's not going to tell you much. It's all unknown. If you ever get lost, it's going to show up in your map where your claim is. Or you can back click and do show on map. And then it'll show you on your map where the claim is. So it's very useful if you die, if you forget where you found something, if the game crashes and something happens. Now we're going to get the extractor to mine this. Sorry, I'm jumping, but I just realized I was doing it. So you get your extractor out, you mine that claim, and then you get whatever you get. Okay, in this case, I got 7 Melchi water, which is very little for normal mining. But when you're mining with such low amounts of money, you're not going to find a ton. Don't expect to hit like a Hoth or something ridiculous with one of these like newbie mining, with this newbie mining gear. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? No. Alright, now I'm being attacked, so I'm going to do my classic drowning move. Notice how electricity is not any worse in the water. You'd think the fact that I'm wet would mean it could do more damage to that animal, but it can't, so we're good. Let's get back to mining. You can't mine in the water, but when you're walking, you can usually mine. In there you couldn't, but usually you can mine when you're walking. So we're just going to keep dropping it. I don't know if I'm going to do 30 through 3 attempts. We'll see. So now we run into the water, and we mine. We got Force Nexus, so this is an end matter. Generally, the way you know if you get an end matter or is end matter, you get the blue certificate, or you're going to get a green certificate, I believe. Hopefully we're going to find some, and we can go from there. Now, so this is the basics. Like, it's pretty easy. You can go anywhere you want, do whatever you want. I gave you guys my suggestions. It's completely up to you guys how you mine, where you go, how you want to do it. I would recommend running a bit in between each drop. So you've got a claim is unique to an area, and no one really knows how it works, but the general theory is a claim is sort of set in an area. So like when I found that claim back there's something that like in the code, in the map, that said, okay, you're gonna trigger this when someone drops, a probe, okay? And based on what equipment you're using, that claim's either gonna be a big claim or a small claim, and that would be the size and how much loot you get out of a claim. But it's always there. If you stand in the same area and keep dropping probes, you're likely not going to find stuff. So if I stand there, if I'm not running, and I just keep dropping probes, it's going to be, I'm not going to find anything. I'm going to find maybe the 1 or 2 claims that are there. If I get lucky, I might find a deeper claim. But in general, standing in the same area and mining is not the way to go. You want to drop a probe, run a bit, drop a probe, run a bit, drop a probe, run a bit. They have like an area of effect circle around it. So like you drop this, and it's mining this whole like circular area. So like on the map, you might be mining everything here. I think that makes sense. The basically what I'm saying is when you're mining, always make sure you're running. And then just every so often you drop a probe. There used to be other ways to do it. I think in some of my previous videos you can see before the update how it used to work, but the game changed. Oops, that's the wrong extractor. Sorry about that, folks. This is the basic one that I'm using. And you can see like 5 PEDs, it's going to go pretty damn far. Okay, like 20 PEDs, assuming you find nothing, absolutely nothing, you could probably make that last a good 2 to 4 hours when you're mining with this trade terminal or TT gear. So we're just going to keep doing this, keep running, try to avoid the red dots because they're going to kill you. There's not too much else for me to tell you guys. We're going to go over markup too. So that I guess that's the next thing to go into, right? So when you're hunting, a lot of the stuff that you buy can be put into the trade terminal, right? Because it doesn't have a markup. I was wrong. I will make a retraction when I said shrapnel can go in the I said that can go into the TT, the trade terminal. Don't do that. You can use that to make armor or ammo, and I guess that's the recommended way to do it. you're making about 1% by doing it that way. So let's keep going mining here, though. I don't know how many of you guys are watching these videos in order and how many of you guys just stumbled upon the video because you type something into the YouTube search bar. Okay, so mining-wise, right? Unlike hunting, a lot of this stuff is going to have a markup on it, which means you want to sell it to someone who's going to pay you something above the trade terminal value. That'd be the TT value. So the TT value is, well, let's go ahead and mine, and I'll show you. All right, so we got some Melchi, right? Let's look at it. The TT value is 0.16 PED right here. At auction, it'll sell for 102%, which means that 16 PEC or 0.16 PED is actually worth 0.162 or something like that PEC. You can't really get that when you're trading. Like, that's such a small amount that it doesn't count for shit, right? We all know this. So, what do? Well, your options are you can save it all up, okay? So you've got all this stuff, right? You've got little amounts of all this stuff. You can save this stuff up, and you can sell it on auction. So if you're going to sell on auction, you want to be holding like 50 PEDs of something to sell it, because you want to make a profit, right? My recommendation, oops, sorry, that was the wrong mining gear. My recommendation would be go to Twin Peaks if you can. That would be, where is it? This place right here, Twin Peaks. And find someone on chat, so down here, who says like buying this, buying that. You know, they'll be in chat saying buying ores and end matter. Go up to that person and sell it to them. They'll give you a small markup. It's going to be much less than auction, but it's going to be something. It's way better than selling all your stuff at trade terminal value. When you're mining in such small amounts, it doesn't have as much of an impact, but as you get better and better at the game, you're going to need to go to these traders more and more, and eventually you're going to start selling stuff on auction. We're not going to go over that yet just because it's too advanced yet, okay? So your options would be find someone who's buying it, or you could try and sell it on auction. I wouldn't recommend it though. Anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the video here. I'm going to show you how much I've managed to make, and I'll wish you guys good luck. So let's get to it. Trade terminal, let's open it up. I spent 5 PEDs on probes, okay? So what do we have in ores and end matter? 1.96 PEDs in ores and end matter. And we're up to 5.16 PEDs, which means if I TT'd everything now, I'd be making money. But I just told you guys you don't want to do that, right? So what do we have here? This is 105% for Belk. Anything above like 102%, I would not recommend selling to the TT, the trade terminal. This is 105%, so let's not sell that. What is this? It's 106% there, so we definitely don't want to sell that one. I think all this stuff's going to be over. 104 for that. 102 for Melchi water. So let's do it this way. Normally, I wouldn't put this in the trade terminal. I wouldn't sell it because 102% is still something. If you have 100 PEDs of this stuff, you can sell it and make 2 PEDs extra. But I'm going to sell it here because it's a small amount. No trader is going to give you anything for that, so you can just go ahead and sell. Okay? Your other option, the option that I like to do, instead of selling it to a trader, would be to collect it all. So we are going to go into auction. If you're new to the game, don't bother looking at this part. It's just going to confuse you. If you're super new. If you're not new, let's give it a shot. Let's see if you guys get it, okay? So I collect everything here, right? Throw this in there. Throw that there. And let's just put this in its own little thing, okay? And when something gets to the right amount, none of this stuff is there yet. But when something is worth enough, maybe this one is, okay? Let me check. How many PEDs do I have? Okay, we've got 16 PEDs. We'll give it a shot. So the first thing you do is you want to convert. And I'll go ahead and do that with one of these. Let's take the oil. Okay? So when you want to convert something, you go to the trade terminal, operate, go to tools, mining, get a refiner. Just buy one of those. Now, go over here. You're going to equip your refiner. Back click, use tool. Drag this over here and refine it. Everything needs to be refined in Entropia Universe. Every ore and end matter needs to be refined in order to be used. So now you've got usable oil. You can use this for crafting. You can use this for fueling a jet. You can use this for fueling a car. You can use it for whatever you want. And the market value now represents a truer to life market value. People pay a little bit more when it's refined. So oil's worth 105% based on that. Now, do they have an auctioneer here? They don't, do they? Oh boy. I have managed to go to a place that I did not want to go to. Okay? They don't have an auctioneer, so we've got a problem. Okay? But let me just talk through this. So you go to an auctioneer. You go to auction. You see what calderite is selling for. Okay? So you click on auction, click buyout value. If you see that it's selling for like... actually... this isn't going to work. Tell you what's going to happen. No. Tell you what we'll do. Let's just fly over to an auction site, okay? I'm not going to waste anybody's time, but I think this is important to see. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. Let's spawn a ship. Let's waste some money. And this is a pure waste of money for those of you wondering. Because it would be much cheaper for me to... not fly. So let's go. Let's go higher. Alright, let's go. So we're going for a teleporter here, just so I can find an auction. And then I can actually show you guys how auction would sort of work. And I think that's good for the video, and that would be a good place to end it, because if you're mining, when you're new, you're going to want to sell a lot of stuff quickly. You're not going to care about mining because you've only got a certain amount of money to play with. But as your budget builds up, you're going to have more and more money to play with, so you won't mind holding on to these things until you can sell them. Again, like, I recommend holding on until you're on like 50 PEDs worth of value or more. But everybody has their own preference, and there is nothing wrong with holding on until you get more, or holding on until you're a little bit lower than that. It does affect your bottom line, because when you sell an auction, there's a 50 PEC charge no matter what you're selling. So that means I'm close to an area where vehicles are not allowed. Okay. So I've got to land over here. Is that how this works? Okay, vehicles aren't allowed here. You know what we're going to do? We're going to exit. Let's pick it up. I'm going to die. It's okay. Dying is not a bad thing in Entropia, so let's just do this real quick. Respawn, then we're going to go to auction. I'll show you how that works. I think there's an auctioneer in here. Maybe I've got to go up one. As you guys can tell, I make these videos, but I'm not exactly the expert. Especially when I can't find a damn auctioneer. Really? There's no one? Oh, there we go. Alright. So click on the auctioneer, click operate. Okay? We're going to try and sell the calderite. So let's look, okay? Go to metal because that's what it is. Go to calderite. Now, let's see what the buyout is. So the lowest price is 102%, 102.74%, but these are all very high markup, okay? So you might be able to get away with selling a little amount of calderite for about 103% based on this. And you guys just get a feel for this as you play. You're going to have some stuff that doesn't sell. It's going to cost you a little bit, but It's a learning experience. You're going to learn what price sells and what price doesn't. Next thing to check is orders. So this is where a lot of people put orders to buy something. So if you go to like NMatter, you're going to see there's orders for stuff, right? Look at this for anything you're selling, because you don't want to be selling medical compress at 150% markup, because it's automatically going to get bought, and you could have made 26% more in that case. So don't do that, because then you're going to feel like an idiot when you go and look. Now, that does not happen for calderite, okay? And we're saying 103% is roughly where I'd be making some money. Now, let's put it up for auction, right? So we've got 16.83 PEDs. We can sell it at 17 PEDs, but with the 50 PEC auction fee, I make nothing. I'm losing money. We don't want that. Let's go up. 108, it's 106%, so no one would buy it. So now what you're going to have to do is split and trim. And again, the larger amount you have, the less you're going to have to do to hit that point, okay? Now if I sell for 17 PEDs, it's going to be 104%. Still a little high, but this might actually sell. But then if you do the math, I'm not making much here. And that's why you always want to wait until you're at that crucial point where you can make money. I'm not going to sell this calderite because I would not be making money off of it. So I'm not going to sell it for a loss. That would be a bad example that I'm setting for you guys. So I'm going to put it back in auction or in storage, and I'm going to wait. That's what I'd recommend you guys do. I'd recommend that you look at auction when you want to sell something, see what you can sell it for, see what the markup is. The higher the markup, the easier it's going to be to sell. So like this, 139%, you can sell a smaller amount of this and you're fine. When it's 103%, it's not going to work out that way. I'd be better off TTing or putting this in the trade terminal than selling it at this amount. But if you've got something like this, 1.5 PEDs worth, but it has a markup of like 250%. That means I could sell this for like 4 PEDs right now. With the 50%, with the 50-cent fee, I'd still be making money. So 1.5 PEDs of that dianthus liquid is worth more auction-wise than that big batch of calderite that I had, that 16 PED batch. That's just how it works. You're going to figure that out as you go. That's a very basic overview of auctioning. This is a very basic overview of mining, but hopefully this is enough to get you guys started. As always, if you got questions, comments, anything like that, let me know. For those of you who complained last time, I did go out and get a bit of recording equipment, so hopefully this video comes out better. Let me know what you think, and thank you for the support. Without you guys, I probably would not have gone out and bought that better recording equipment, but hey, it really does pay for itself, I guess. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, peace.